Hi there, my crafty friends. It is 8 o'clock on Tuesday, April 30th, and as promised, I'm coming on live with some new product. I'm so excited to show you the sample. I just finished it, and we are going to make something very close to it, just a different color scheme. So, just gonna shut this door and put on some lip balm because it's super dry. Pull this up on my iPad and share it. Feels kind of weird going live on a Tuesday night. Weird saying it's Tuesday, not Wednesday. But I will be going live again tomorrow night. There we go. Turn the volume down. I understand there is a problem with passing lives along to friends and doing this and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I'm not going to say it, but if you could pass it along and do this and comment, that would be great. Pop on, say hi, let me know who's here. Can't see anything right now. Okay, I'm gonna leave this open just a little bit in case Mika comes by. Hi, Joyce. So I hope everyone is having a great week. I know it's only Tuesday, but it's Tuesday evening or Wednesday morning. Good morning, Wendy. That's always so weird. Wendy is in Australia. What part of Australia, Wendy? I hope it's Australia, not New Zealand. Not that there's anything wrong with New Zealand. I just hope I got the right country. Thank you for passing it along, Wendy. I was watching Kelly Atchison this week, and she's had nothing but problems with her Facebook Live, so I'm going to try and learn from her lessons and not say those keywords that kind of get you put in Facebook jail, because I don't want to go there. I cannot wait to flip this around and show you what I'm going to be working on. But before I do that, I just wanted to say that my newsletter will be coming out shortly after my live. When I finish it. I've got all the notes prepared, it's just actually putting it together. But in case you are living under a rock, the Everything is Rosy product medley is coming out tomorrow. It is available to demonstrators and customers all at the same time. So it's gonna sell out like that. So if you're wanting it, get it ASAP. It is Australia, I thought so. Yes, Karen, that's what I was thinking. I said Australia and hoped I wasn't wrong. Okay, thank you for passing it along. I'm gonna flip this down so that we can get to it because this is gonna take maybe some time. Now that I've worked through my sample, hopefully it'll be quick and easy, but we'll see. Hey Lisa, thank you for the thumbs up. Gonna flip this around. So if you get dizzy or seasick, just cover your eyes for a second. And there we are flipped. We're a little vibratey, but we're flipped. Okay, I'll turn on this other light. Sorry, got a bit of a glare going on. I've got like 5 million projects on the go. Stamping Society goes live tomorrow morning, so if you haven't heard of that yet, you can find more information on my blog, or you can like our Facebook page. I'm just changing the brightness on here because I can't see anything. So Stamping Society tutorials come out on the 1st of every month. So tomorrow is, I almost said, yeah, May 1st. I'm like, I almost said May. The new tutorial comes out. I can't show you the blog post or the tutorial because you'll have to wait till the morning for that. But we are using the Tea Together stamp set. Just let me grab that. So there are some super fun projects, and if you haven't done anything for a Mother's Day card yet, then you will probably be very inspired by the hop. So you can check that out on any of our websites. So it's myself, it is Elisa Tilsner from Australia, it is Dallas Cram from New Zealand, it is Martin Stone from the UK, and Kelly Atchison from the US. So super excited. Okay, this is the card that I just finished making. Let's see if this let it go up a little bit higher. So Wildly Happy is the stamp set, and I've used this before on a live, but I said I'd be using new product on Tuesdays and retiring product on Wednesdays, so stay tuned for what tomorrow is. But I just made this. I had this idea while I was at work today, and it turned out just awesome. So, oh, I thank you for all the hearts. I really appreciate that. So let's get to it. We're going to do a different color scheme and a different animal, but same general idea. Maybe you can see it if I keep it here. Mind you, I don't want it to get wrecked, so I'm going to move it out of sight for now. We are going to be using the foxes. Whoops, and I'm going to use a piece of watercolor paper that I had used for the pandas, because it will fit both of them, so why not? Okay, actually I'm going to move this magnet just a little bit. Now, to get this effect, we are going to use some Stampin' Up markers. So I have Cajun Craze, Pumpkin Pie, Mango Melody, and Pineapple Punch, which may seem like a weird combination, but I'm not sure. None of the comments are coming up on my iPad, so I'll try and remember to stand up every few minutes. There's some embossing powder on my fox. Okay, so all I did was colored very randomly, starting with your lightest color, because you don't want that to transfer. You don't want your light color to get muckied up by a dark color. I can tell you this random part was probably a little easier with the other colors that I was using. Just want to make sure that you've covered every little bit of it, especially their faces. I might have more Cajun Craze than I wanted to. Take an aqua, not an aqua painter, a Stampin' Spritzer, and give your paper a bit of a spray, but also give your stamp a bit of a spray. Now that might have been a little bit more than I had done on the panda. Yep. I meant to grab a new piece of paper towel when I came in here, but I forgot. So we're just gonna take a bit of that water off. And this is a fun technique, but you probably will never get the same look twice. So let's ink this up again. Put a bit of yellow. We'll skip the Mango Melody this time. So Wendy, I saw that you're looking forward to getting this in a pre-order tomorrow. Demonstrators are able to get early access, obviously, because we're working with new product. But for those that didn't attend on stage, they are now able to access it come May, I think it's May 2nd. So it's Thursday for us in, well, it's Thursday everywhere, but Thursday for us in North America. And we do not yet know what is going to be on that pre-order list, so very impatiently waiting for that. And like I said, you're never going to get this same look twice. So let's just add. And the more you do this, the easier it will get. This is maybe the 5th time I've done this today. And Jennifer McGuire does have a video on how to do that. Okay, so I'm really liking that. Let's give it one more spray spritz just to spread it just a little bit. Too much, too much. Okay, and now I am going to turn on my heat gun. I'm sorry about the noise, it'll just take a minute. Okay, and now that it's dry, I'm going to use my anti-static powder tool, my embossing buddy. Oh, it's getting dusty up in here. Clean off my stamp. And I'm going to use my Versamark. And I want to get this in the same place. That is why I'm using my Stamparatus, in case you're wondering. Okay, and the last time I used black, this time we are going to use copper. Sorry, black embossing powder. This time we're going to use copper. Take this magnet off. And hopefully it was completely dry. It was. Well, that part doesn't matter so much because we're going to be cutting that part out. Oh, look how sweet is that? So I always keep a paintbrush, a dry paintbrush, handy to wipe away any extra embossing powder. In case you're wondering, this is a piece of the Stampin' Up Stamparatus grid paper. I've just laminated it so that I don't use a new piece every time. And while I'm cleaning up, I am currently working on an online class for the Stamparatus. So if you live in Canada and either do not yet have the Stamparatus, or you have the Stamparatus and haven't taken it out of its box, or you don't know how to use it, then this class is going to be for you. There will be a bundled price that has the Stamparatus and grid paper and yada yada. And then there is, there's a couple of bundle choices. So there's one that includes the Stamparatus, there's one that doesn't, there's one that's just the PDF or the video tutorial, and then there's one for my team. So stay tuned for that. I'm hitting the foxes with the heat tool again. Hopefully you can see this. Youch! Sorry, I can't hold it that way. It's burning my fingers. Oh my, this is gonna be awesome. I watched a video today where all they said was awesome, so sorry, that's not usually a go-to. Okay, we are done with the Stamparatus. Now I am going to take a clear block. That one had a little bit of ink. And I'm, whoops, taking the brush end of the marker, just scribble the colors that you had already used. Just scribble them on your block. Get your aqua painter. And keep a paper towel nearby because you really don't want a whole lot of water. Now you're just gonna kind of hit a few key spots. And when I did the panda, I ended up coloring a lot more than I had initially planned. So I don't want to do that with the fox. I just want to have a couple of little areas, and I can wipe off some extra over there. You're basically just giving it a little bit of an abstract look. You don't need to add any water. I and don't overthink it. So you could leave a little bit of white, or you can fill it in the way I am. Sorry, I think I just missed a comment. Oh my goodness. There are all the comments. Thank you, Wendy. I am super happy to be working with this set too. It took kind of a miracle to get it. Chrissy says the stamp set's on her wish list. Looking forward to ordering this. Aw, thanks, Geraldine. I love it when you watch my videos too. I would love to get you to a class one of these days too. I think you would have a blast. Okay, now I'm getting a little bit more water than I want. So I can just soak that up. Scribble a little more. Now I want to mention, because I was quite surprised when one of my amazing team members didn't know that the Stampin' Up markers are refillable. So I want to make sure that everyone knows that. I mean, I'm not going to make it my life's mission to make sure everyone knows that, but I want you to know that if you buy the Stampin' Up markers, the refills that you have for the ink pads will work in there. So they never go bad. I am going to switch to a blender pen because I'm finding that it's not going quite as dark as I want it to, because every time I add a little bit more, it gets watered down. So I'm going to scribble some more on there, and I'm going to take a blender pen and just grab it, and then now this paper is getting fairly saturated, so I don't have much more before the paper is going to start pilling on me. If you're finding it's too harsh, just go in with your aqua painter. I was trying to find something that I could use as a sentiment, like some kind of fox joke, but everything that came up was probably too inappropriate to share. Although, that being said, I do have one card that I made shortly after I started as a demonstrator that got some attention. Dave didn't understand what it meant when he saw it the first time, but I was going to put no given or 0 given. And I'm not explaining it. You either know or you don't know. Aqua painter is empty. Okay, so I think we're done there. Let me add I could keep fussing with this like forever, so at some point I will just stop. Hopefully just shy of me ruining it. So with the right tools, you really don't need to be an artist, because even I can do this. Look at that sweet little baby. Okay, moving on. Light my block. Another tip, I'm not sure if you know this, if you are looking to, some people got it. I'm so glad. I'm just going to put these away quickly. Now, what was I going to say? Oh, with the new ink pads, if you're having a hard time, you want to basically do what we were able to do before by closing the pad and squeezing it together and getting the ink in the lid. If you're having a hard time doing that, just dip a block in there and then use your block with your aqua painter, blender pen, whatever it is you're trying to paint with. And that ought to help. Okay, next step. Focus, focus. I've got a Whisper White thick card base that I'm just going to set aside for now, and I have got some coordinating foxy colors. So I've got So Saffron, Pumpkin Pie, Cajun Craze, and Soft Suede. And we are going to try to replicate what we did with the panda bears. Now, we will probably end up cutting some of these guys apart because they're pretty big. And I want to try and make sure that I've got the same pieces. So these are the new nested dies, and they are part of the Bird Ballad suite. And can I just tell you, with the Big Shot leaving and the changes to the dies and those types of things, I just want to share that these dies are amazing. They don't warp. And if you want to see a side-by-side comparison, look at my stitched rectangles. Now, I have only had these since about January, but I have to bend them almost every time I use them to get them back to shape. They don't really stay all that well on the magnet. These ones are not having that problem, and they are not sharp. These ones catch on your fingers, these ones do not. So if you have any concerns about the new dies that Stampin' Up! Is going to be using with the direct to manufacturer versus the middleman being Sizzix, I would say do not worry. They are going to be amazing. And there was one more thing I was going to say on that note. Oh, if you have dies that are cutting out an image, they actually fit closer to the image than our old ones do. Okay, so I know that we need at least those 3 sizes. And then we need this one here. So we're going to cut the fox out of this one, and I'm sorry it can't go bigger, but this is the biggest size that I have. And while there is one that's straight, it was just going to be too much fussing to try and get that cut the way I wanted it. So because this is on watercolor paper and it's like all warped on me, I'm going to cut that kind of on an angle so we can get as much as possible. I'm going to use a piece of washi tape. Run that through the Big Shot. I'm not going to move the Big Shot fully in because then you're not going to be able to see everything else. Like my mess. And you want to see my mess, right? I know you do. Okay, here's Foxy Mama, Foxy Baby. Now, what I need to decide is what colors are going where. So I need, first of all, now with this one, we didn't get a whole lot of background. That one we do, so we might do some shading. We could do it on Soft Suede. We could do it on So Saffron. We could do it on Cajun Craze, which looks gorgeous, but it might be too much Cajun Craze all in one spot. Or we can do it on Pumpkin Pie. What do we think? Soft Suede, So Saffron, Cajun Craze, or Pumpkin Pie? I'm kind of thinking we are going to use Soft Suede as the base. Now this one is going to be going sideways. So this can stay the full size for now. And then, which do we want on? We're going to keep So Saffron kind of nestled in there. And let's use Pumpkin Pie. We'll go in this order. So this is going to be the biggest die. Let's move this out of here. You want to try and get it as straight as possible and evenly spaced on all 4 sides. We're not keeping the inside, so we can put our washi tape there, and then if it rips the cardstock, it's no big deal. These dies are also thinner, so there's a lot less cracking. So there's the first one. Typically I keep my scraps, but not tonight. Okay, so the next one is going to be Cajun Craze. So we're done with this ginormous one. And right now all my cardstock is the same size, so we're gonna line it up and then line this up in here, just so that we're not having to fuss with it after to make sure that it's all straight. So another piece of washi tape, and this is Scotch washi tape, so it's a little stickier than say Stampin' Up washi tape, so it will rip the middle of the cardstock, but it's what I have handy right now. Okay. You can do this with the rectangular dies as well, which I thought about doing, but then you wouldn't be seeing these amazing dies. They really are amazing. So if you are not a demonstrator, you probably haven't seen a whole lot of the products out yet. If you would like to become a demonstrator and you live in Canada and are not yet working with a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator or to be your team leader. Love, love, love. I have set a goal to be Silver Elite by July 31st, which is my 2-year Stampin' Up anniversary, Stampiversary, so I still need 2 more people, and I need one of those people to be Silver, which means that they have 1 recruit. So if you are thinking about joining, I would love for you to join my team and help me reach my goal. Now when you're building this, it does take some planning and thought, which aren't typically my strong suits. Okay, so we'll do a little bit of trimming just to make sure that we don't see any of the other colors underneath, but that is it. Isn't it amazing? Clean that up after. So I want to make sure that all of the pieces besides the pumpkin pie are less than 5 1/4 by 4. And then I know they won't show because my mat is 5 1/4 by 4. I don't want to go too close to the ends either. So that should be good for that one. And just hang with me for a couple more minutes and I'll show you how to assemble. And I am very happy to tell you that this is my design. I have not seen this anywhere. Cannot wait to get it on Pinterest. Oh, the other beauty about joining my team, I was going somewhere with that besides where I went, is that you would get early access. So you would be able to place your pre-order as well. Okay, first step, we are going to grab some dimensionals, and I have some end pieces that are hanging around and driving me crazy. So I'm gonna get those out of the way. Okay, and then we just start layering. But we're gonna start from the outside. Oh, thank you, Meredith. Now at this point, it doesn't matter that we have more glue than we need. Just want to make sure that they're straight. Make sure you have about the same amount on all sides. You're going to have less showing on the sides than you do the top and the bottom. I had thought about using dimensionals for all these layers, but it would have, would have a really hard time going through the mail with all those dimensionals. So I changed my mind. So what do we think about the white desktop for the video background versus the wood paper that I was using? Whoopsie. Now, what I forgot to do was trim a little bit of the pumpkin pie before I place this down. But on this card, we are going to have the pumpkin pie going all the way to the end. On the panda one, you can see I left a little bit of a gap so that you could see the black cardstock. But with this one, we can see all of the colors already. So happy accident. Now, I want to do a couple of things, but I'm going to wait until I have this on my card base, which is up here. Got embossing powder everywhere. So this will have a little bit of whisper white showing through on all, well, all two sides. If you have a little bit of an offcut or a fray from cutting it, just use a nail buffer to smooth it off. Now, I have a little bit of crushed curry. Anything else? I think maybe the linen thread might be nice on here, since we didn't actually use crushed curry. Trying to use up little bits and pieces here and there. Okay, so this is linen thread. And it's awesome that it comes in a roll now instead of on a cardboard thing, but you still get the curling. So what I like to do, once my cards are out of the way, is just spray it a little bit and just run it through my fingers. Now don't go too fast, because when I did this earlier with the black and white twine that I used, I almost gave myself like a ribbon cut. I don't know, I went way too fast and ouch. And we should have enough to go around twice. Pull it tight at the top. And then just tie a knot. You want it to be tight, you don't want it to be shifting. And then you can either cut it so that it's just loose ends, or you can have a little bow. And then leave your little ends hanging. Now we need a sentiment, and Wildly Happy has some wildly adorable sentiments. Probably looking right at it. Where did I put it? Right over here. Okay, so on Panda, I put For You, and that's from this stamp set. We don't have a lot of room, but there are not so many. There are a few adorable sentiments on here. Thought about doing something from Itty Bitty Greetings. You could use something from Well Said. What are we gonna use? I think we're just gonna stick with For You. We could also use So Tiny, So Small, So Loved by All. And that could go on the inside. But I'm gonna stick to the outside for tonight. When I take some pictures, I will show you the inside, should I decide to do something. Okay, so we used black on that one. I'm thinking maybe a piece of Whisper White. I have this little one, but I think, yeah, it's gonna look funny. The other thing we could do is a piece of Very Vanilla, which I'm kind of leaning towards because you can't really see much of the Whisper White. Let's try that. So we'll use our embossing buddy. Versamark. Now I haven't put the cling mount thingy on there yet. You know what I mean? The sticker. So it's kind of a guesstimate as to how to stamp it so it's going to be straight. This is a very delicate script. Again, using your dry brush. Heat up the embossing tool. I'm going to stamp this one more time and see if I can get it a little stronger. That is better. Not sure what happened the first time. That's good. Okay. Can be hard doing things with one hand. So I have tentatively set my catalog kickoff party for Saturday, June 8th. And as part of that, I will have my BOGO sale, so all of my retired product will be available at a buy one, get one price. So mark your calendars. Now I found out, I taught myself a new trick. I'm probably not the first one to find this, but you know that I use the tailored tag punch for more than just this. I use it to banner ends, but I also found this week you can use it to make yourself a sentiment strip. Now, you could leave it like that, although it's a little wonky, or you can use it to banner your ends like I normally do, and then this part can just tuck in there. Now this one, it's a little bit different because there's a little more space at the end. I'm just gonna take a smidge off. There we go. I don't think we need a dimensional. We're just gonna kind of glue it where it is. Come on. You could sponge that too if you wanted it to stand out a little bit more, but I am loving it. So two very different looks, two very different color palettes, two different animals. Well, that didn't work. I just scooped everything into my hand and then it all went flying. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed watching me make these cards. Two very different color palettes, two very different looks and feels. That one has the copper embossing with Cajun Craze as highlight. This one has black embossing powder with a very bright color palette. So that is all, my crafty friends. I thank you for watching tonight, and I hope you will tune in again tomorrow when I work with retiring product. So thank you so much. If you haven't already liked my page, head on over now and like it and follow it and all these. And have a good night, guys. Bye.